Catherine Howarth, thank you to be with us today.
That's a pleasure, thank you.
You're CEO of FairPensions.
Yes.
To introduce you, who is FairPensions?
Okay, well, FairPensions is an independent NGO that specialises in monitoring the activities of the pension funds and the fund managers in the UK. We are benchmarking them on their performance on responsible investment. We are building public awareness within the UK, especially amongst pension fund members, about the importance of responsible investment, about the importance of transparency, about the importance of pension funds and fund managers being accountable to the millions of people whose money is in the capital markets, invested on their behalf by these powerful pension funds and fund managers.
What were the main conclusions of the FairPensions UK occupational pension schemes?
Well, at the beginning of this year, we undertook a survey of the 30 largest UK funds. That's funds that collectively invest £150 billion, so they're very big institutions, and they have about 5 million members in the UK. And we were just assessing those funds in terms of how much do they integrate environmental, social and governance factors into the decision making, how active are they engaging with companies when risks have been identified, do they vote with their shares, all those basic questions to do with responsible investment. And what we found is that there's huge variation in performance. So some of the funds in the UK, just a small number, are doing very, very well. They're amongst the leaders internationally and so on. But unfortunately, most of the big players still have a long way to go. And typically, what happens is they have a kind of top-level positive statement. So they say, responsible investment, yes, yes, we approve of that, sounds like a good idea. So there's a top-level commitment, but when you dig into the detail, there's really nothing there. When you dig into asking them, what are you doing to monitor the fund managers that you use? What are you doing to vote the shares and so on? Really, we discovered a lot of room for improvement. So, you know, at least we have the picture. And now, obviously, a lot of our work involves talking directly with the different pension funds about improving their performance. And we made recommendations to every fund. And I'm happy to say that bit by bit, those recommendations are actually being implemented.
Mm-hmm. And how pertinent is this report to pension fund and to other pension funds?
Well, actually, I'm very pleased to say that just this afternoon, I understand that Eurosif is considering basically undertaking exactly the same exercise on a European level, asking the same kind of questions to European pension funds in different countries. So I think we've provided a useful model. I would expect that we'll find in the European context the same variation. We'll have excellent pension funds, and then we'll have many that really haven't started on the journey at all.
Mm-hmm. With the financial crisis and economic crisis, maybe it's more difficult for a pension fund not to be in the market and to be too much in the markets too. So how they can involve strategy or develop their strategy in this kind of market, strange market or very hard markets?
Yeah, this year has been a horrible time for pension funds, and you know, the financial crisis has many kind of origins, and some of them do relate to the poor governance of banks and other financial institutions, and so they are directly an ESG issue, but it's a regulatory failure as well. I think everybody admits that. So one of the questions raised by the crisis, I think, is what must pension funds do to encourage a more stable and effective regulatory environment? Yes, pension funds need to be looking at individual companies in their portfolios and managing risks at that micro level, but clearly pension funds are very exposed to macro systemic risks, and so really they have to take an interest in the development of a more robust regulatory architecture. Another good example of a systemic risk is climate change.